A curious 10-year-old stumbled upon something they never should have found. A piece of metal that looked nothing special but sparked their curiosity and drew their attention. Little did he know that his innocent discovery would kick off a roller coaster of suspense and tragedy and would leave his house empty for a very long time. So let's get started with the story of how a child's play triggered a series of events that ended in tragedy. But before, if you like this story, please consider pressing the like button. If you'd like to hear more stories like this one and you fancy the strange, mysterious, or the unexplained, please subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you know when we upload next. Planning to do so once or even twice per week. Now, let's jump into today's story. In March 1962, a family of 4 moved into a house in Mexico City. The father was offered a better paying job, and being the breadwinner of the family, he did what he considered to be best for his family. They packed everything and they moved into the city in the hopes for a better future. And having 2 kids, both parents considered that they have much better opportunities in the city than in the rural area. The family was made up of 4 members: the pregnant mother, the father, a 10-year-old boy, and a 2-year-old daughter. Being new in the neighborhood, the 10-year-old didn't have any friends to play with outside, so he used to spend his time around the house or playing outside in the yard. And very soon after moving, he finds in the dirt in his yard this small object. It's like a tiny metal capsule. He picks it up, he cleans it, he analyzes it. He has no idea what it is or what it's doing, but it catches his eye and he decides it's worth keeping. So he just puts it in his pocket and forgets about it. He wears the same pair of pants for a few days and he's carrying this small little object with him everywhere he goes without even remembering it. When his mother took his pants to wash, she did what she always used to do with any item of clothing. She slid her hand in the pockets to search for any forgotten objects. So she finds this little capsule and she looks at it and she has no idea what it is, but she doesn't give it too much thought, and she puts it in the kitchen drawer next to the silverware. A week after that, the boy started coughing and feeling weaker and weaker. He had a high fever and he developed a very bad rash on his left thigh. After the pain increased more and more and his state became even worse, he was taken to the hospital by his parents and he was admitted on April 16th. The mother continued cooking and doing chores around the kitchen, and the young one always stayed close to her. Since her brother was not home anymore to play in the yard, she was spending now most of her time around her mother. At the hospital, the boy seemed to be getting better, but then all of a sudden his state deteriorated and his heart stopped beating on April 29th. All the doctors and his close family were extremely shocked by this because he was extremely healthy and he had no health issues, so this was completely out of the blue. To help the family cope with the loss and to help them around the house, the grandmother from his father's side decided to move into the family house. As she is preparing the meals and she's spending a lot of time in the kitchen doing house chores, she sees that the glass objects like tumblers or pitchers are getting darker and they're becoming this coffee-like color. And she thinks to herself that this is very strange and she has never seen this before and she has no idea what could cause this. She shares this with the rest of the family, but they are also completely clueless, the same as she is, and they just shrug it off. Soon, also, the 27-year-old mother began feeling very sick. Her body was covered in painful rashes and she had a low fever. Because her health was not improving and she felt sicker by the day. She was also admitted in the hospital on July 17, only to pass away 2 days later of heart failure. And although extremely unlikely for 2 healthy individuals to lose their lives so suddenly, the doctors did not make any connections between the 2 deaths. It wasn't until the youngest of the family, the 2-year-old daughter, got sick and had to be admitted in the hospital that the doctor started thinking that the fact that all 3 got sick might be connected in any way and could share the same cause. Looking at all their symptoms, the doctor started suspecting that this might be radioactive poisoning. After a thorough examination and looking all around, the capsule was found in the very same drawer that the mother has put it in and was removed from the house. But sadly, it was already too late and harm has already been done. Not only for the boy and the mother, but for everyone in this house who had prolonged contact with this capsule. This capsule was also the cause of every glass in proximity turning a dark color. The little girl, after getting better and then again worse, same as her mother and brother, lost her life on August 18th. And just the same way as the rest of the family members, the grandmother who took over the chores from the mother and got busy around the kitchen started to show the same symptoms. She was admitted in the hospital on August 18, but unfortunately it was too late and the doctor could do nothing to save her. She lost her life on October 15, being the last victim at this tiny capsule. Being at work most of the time and not spending so much time in the kitchen when the capsule was held in the drawer, the father received a much lower dose of radiation, being the sole survivor. Turns out that the small capsule was an industrial-grade supply for radiography and cancer treatments and was removed from its protective casing. So basically, this was like a mini nuclear bomb emitting the worst type of radiation, the gamma rays. Scariest part, there are thousands of orphan sources around there in the world. Orphan sources are instruments or devices that contain small amounts of radioactive material sealed in metal protection that are not under regulatory control or are lost or misplaced or abandoned. Many of them don't even display any type of warning, and the effects of being close to such source can be catastrophic, and they're quite easy to come by. Who knows, maybe you have even come across one of these orphan sources at one point in your life and you had no idea. That was all I had for today. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed today's video. Would love to hear from you. Do you think you ever came close to one of these orphan sources? Let me know in the comments down below. If you like this story, please like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications. There is more to come and I wouldn't want you to miss them. So stay safe, friends, and make sure you don't hoard any weird looking capsules.